Hey everybody, Frank Chen here with REIClub.com, the only site you'll need as a real estate investor. Today I got a quick video for you on protecting yourself as a landlord. Now, like in all my videos, everything I talk about I do include in the description below. Simply click show more and you can follow right along. So let's go ahead and get started. The first common mistake that landlords make is that they fail to properly screen their tenants. Now, understand there are a lot of bad apples out there. Yes, there are some good ones, but especially depending on what type of market you're providing housing for, whether it's low income or depending on the area, this makes tenant screening incredibly important. So to protect yourself, the best way to get around this is to remember to verify employment and obtain current and past rental history. But more importantly, verify that with the landlord, have a quick conversation with them to get a better idea of your tenant's rental patterns. And of course, provide a thorough background and credit check and bring up anything that may be a red flag. Landlord mistake number 2 is using generic rental agreements. Now, plain and simple, using a generic rental agreement or a lease agreement that you find on the internet can be a disaster waiting to happen, especially if you run into what we call a professional tenant. These people know the state contracts better than most landlords do, and they know how to manipulate it to their advantage. See, each state has special language that must be included within the lease. Now, many states have special disclosures, provisions, that must be attached to the lease that you don't want to forget. Additionally, states place limits on how much a landlord may charge for security deposits and how many days late the rent must be before a late fee can be charged. Now, your solution to this is, you can use a certified online landlord form service that will help you through the actual process of creating a rental agreement specific to your state. And of course, we always encourage you to consult with a realtor or a local realtor. And of course, hiring an attorney is always recommended to review your established contracts. Okay? And let's talk about landlord mistake number 3, ignoring your rental properties. Now, regardless of what kind of inquiry you get and regardless of what time of the day it is, if it's a leak, say your washer and dryer isn't working, there's ants in the kitchen, understand that the more you procrastinate, the harder it is for you to ignore this problem in the long term. In many situations, it gets worse. So addressing tenant concerns and potential problems with your rental property quickly and effectively will really save you a lot of money financially and may prevent potential lawsuits. So your solution, of course, if you have a handyman available that you trust, send them out to the property to take a look at anything pressing, especially if it deals with leaks, water damage, or electrical work. So it can cause catch your house on fire. So water and electric. And of course, you can always schedule quarterly checkups. Now, if you don't have these networks in place, you can always set up, maybe every 6 months, visit your property to kind of just see the state of the home and see if your tenant needs to kind of be maybe cleaner or just maybe stop doing something they shouldn't be doing. Okay, landlord's mistake number 4 is failing to serve your tenant violations, okay? Now, regardless of your relationship with a tenant, friend, family member, or just someone that's just used to be a really great tenant, falling behind on rent is not an option, okay? Now, patience is a virtue. But investing in real estate is a business. So assess your tenant situation, determine if their reasons are valid. A death in a family, a major car accident, serve the tenants quickly though when their rent is not paid on time, regardless, okay? At which point you can be stern, but you always want to be able to work with these people, especially if you're in a time where there's high vacancies around your area. You don't want to lose a tenant, okay? Landlord mistake number 5, this is the last one we're going to talk about, is over leveraging your rental properties. Now, this happens a lot to newer investors and used to be a big problem a few years back, but many investors get involved with rental properties purely for their leverage, okay? They take one property, they leverage the financing and turn it into 2 properties. They leverage those 2, then 4, and so on and so forth. However, the problem is if you borrow too much against your investments, or what we call over leverage, leveraging, you're going to leverage yourself out of any potential cash flow. Now, this means you will be in the red as soon as you have a vacancy or unexpected property maintenance, which is very, very common. So the tip here is predict your monthly expenses, which are mortgages, taxes, insurance, and at no more than 50% of what your rent is, okay? Now, some cities you're looking at maybe 75%, but you understand there's about 50% to 25% of income potential. But at the end, you should always be cash flowing, okay? So if you know that you're seeing in the red at some point, it's time to consolidate some of your costs and get back into the black, okay? Now, rental properties offer great investment returns when leveraged correctly. Now, I understand that being a landlord isn't the easiest, but it's one of the best ways to build long-term wealth. Now, hopefully this video made some of the more common landlording pitfalls more apparent, and hopefully will save you from future hassles when dealing with rental properties. Again, this is Frank Chen with REIClub.com. Please take time to leave comments below about what you thought about the video. Click the like button because it really does help us out, but more importantly, if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel so we can keep you informed when brand new videos just like this are posted every week. As usual, thank you so much for your time, your continued support, and I look forward to talking it next week. Take care, good investing, and bye-bye.